Okay, we hear different sounds. So, what makes one sound different from another? Okay, so the sounds are different that can be described using two kinds of properties. Okay, one is physical property, okay, and another one is perceptual. Okay, so physical property we can measure and we can say it mathematically, but perceptual property is like it's a psychological thing. Okay, so um, yeah, so and for some physical property we understand that physical property in a perceptual sense in a certain way. Okay, so one physical property is amplitude. Okay, so by changing the amplitude high and low, what do we perceive in the sound is loudness. Okay, if the amplitude is high, then we will perceive it as a loud sound. If the amplitude is low, then we will perceive it as a not so loud. Okay, fine. But remember, the reason why we are calling that as a perceptual is because for a same amplitude, some people will feel that as loud and some people will feel that as that much loud. Okay, so that's why we call one as physical, which we can actually measure and put a number to it, where the perceptual is like an opinion kind of thing. Okay, so one is amplitude and the second one is frequency. Okay, so different frequency makes sound differently. Okay, and how do we perceive and what is the name we give um, respect to the perception, and it is called pitch. Okay, so high pitch, low pitch we call, right? So that's the perceptual factor. Okay, so later you will notice even for a high frequency, okay, we sometimes perceive that as a low pitch sound. Okay, so we'll see some example later. And the third factor is spectrum. What's a spectrum? So if you see, we have discussed that a vibrating structure which will vibrate in a particular frequency will produce a sound. Okay, and let's say we call a particular frequency of sound, say it's a structure is vibrating 440, then we call that as a 440A. Okay, and say if the 440A is being produced in one instrument, okay, the same 440A is produced in another instrument, it sounds differently. Even though the frequency is same, it will sound differently because the structure will not vibrate in a single frequency. Okay, the structure will vibrate in a mix of frequency. Okay, mix of frequencies. So then how the frequencies are for a single sound, what is the distribution of the frequency? Okay, and that's what we call as the distribution of the frequency is what we call as spectrum. Okay, and what is the perceptual name for that spectrum? It's called timbre. Okay, So that's the reason for the same fundamental frequency, one instrument sounds different with respect to the other. Okay. And the fourth factor is duration. Okay. So depends on how long that particular sound we hear, we feel differently. Okay. And the perceptual thing is, okay, we feel the sound is too long or too short. Okay. And depends on that, we feel different sound. Okay. So these are some factors which makes different sounds being different. Thank you.